Welcome, everyone, to Digital Debates, where we dive deep into the most polarizing conversations of our time. Today, we're talking about something that touches every single one of us, every single day: the complex interplay between free speech, hate speech, cancel culture, and how social media has utterly transformed our political landscape and, frankly, our mental health. It's a minefield, isn't it?
Really is, Peter. And for too long, many people, frankly, have been afraid to speak their minds. We have something called the First Amendment in America, and it's tremendous. It means you can say what you want, even if some people don't like it. But now with social media, it's like a whole new world where they try to silence you, they try to cancel you for daring to think differently. It's a very dangerous path.
I understand the sentiment, Donald, and the principle of free expression is, of course, sacrosanct in democracies. However, here in the UK and across much of Europe, we approach this with a slightly different lens. We recognise that words can cause real harm, and where speech crosses a line into incitement or genuine hate speech, it's not just about an opinion, it's about protecting communities and individuals from abuse and discrimination. There's a balance to be struck between liberty and responsibility.
And that balance, Keir, is precisely where the psychological complexities lie. From a psychological perspective, hate speech isn't just an abstract concept. It has measurable detrimental effects on mental health, especially for targeted groups. It fosters fear, anxiety, and can normalize prejudice, potentially leading to real-world discrimination and even violence. The marketplace of ideas theory, while noble, often assumes an equal footing, which isn't always the case when one side is systematically dehumanized.
That's a powerful point, Jordan. So if we accept that hate speech has real-world harm, does cancel culture then become a grassroots, citizen-led mechanism for accountability when legal systems might not apply or be sufficient? Or is it something more dangerous?
Well, look, cancel culture is a disaster. It's about mobs. It's about silencing people, often good people, for things they said years ago or for a joke that didn't land or just because they have a conservative viewpoint. There's no due process. You're guilty until proven innocent, and even then they don't care. They just want to destroy you. It's not accountability. It's tyranny of a small, very vocal group. It's an attack on our fundamental freedoms, frankly.
I think there's a nuanced discussion to be had here. On one hand, the ability of ordinary people to hold powerful individuals or institutions to account for genuinely harmful actions or statements is a positive evolution of our democratic conversation. Social media can empower marginalized voices, but, and this is a significant but, the speed and intensity of online condemnation, often without full context or a right of reply, can be deeply unfair and disproportionate. We've seen careers ruined, reputations destroyed for missteps that perhaps warranted an apology and a learning opportunity, not a complete professional annihilation.
Precisely, Keir. Psychologically, cancel culture often operates on a purity test mentality. There's an intense pressure within certain online communities to demonstrate one's moral bona fides, which can lead to a call-out culture that's less about genuine restorative justice and more about performative outrage. This can be deeply anxiety-inducing for everyone, leading to self-censorship and a fear of making any mistake. It leaves little room for growth, redemption, or even constructive disagreement, which are essential for a healthy society.
It sounds like we're agreeing there's a problem, perhaps just differing on its root causes or solutions. Let's pivot slightly to another incredibly charged topic where social media plays a pivotal and often alarming role: gun laws. In the US, Donald, this is a constant, fiery debate. How do you see social media impacting this, particularly when we talk about policing threats?
Well, Peter, the Second Amendment in America is very clear. The right to keep and bear arms is about self-defense, plain and simple. What social media does is it creates a lot of noise. You have people pushing for extreme gun control, trying to disarm law-abiding citizens, and frankly, they use social media to spread a lot of false information. On the other hand, you also have people who are truly dangerous, talking about violence online. Law enforcement needs to be able to catch those people, but the idea that social media companies should be policing every thought and every word of every American, that's a huge problem. That's a slippery slope to censorship and privacy invasion. We need common sense, not giving big tech more power over our lives.
From our perspective, the approach is quite different. In the UK, we have some of the strictest gun laws in the world, and for good reason. Public safety is paramount. The idea of widespread civilian gun ownership is simply not part of our cultural or legal framework. Social media's role from our side is often about identifying potential threats before they materialize. If someone is posting alarming content, expressing violent ideations, or showing signs of radicalization online, then monitoring those platforms with appropriate legal safeguards becomes a crucial tool for law enforcement. It's about prevention and protecting innocent lives. However, I share Donald's concern about the line between legitimate threat identification and privacy infringement. It's a very fine line to walk.
Indeed, from a psychological standpoint, social media provides both a platform for individuals to express distress or violent intent, and unfortunately also a space for echo chambers where extreme ideologies can be reinforced and individuals can be radicalized. The challenge for law enforcement and platforms isn't just identifying the threat, but understanding the psychological state behind it. Is it a cry for help? Is it genuine intent? Is it just dark humor taken out of context? The algorithms and sheer volume of data make accurate threat assessment incredibly difficult, and the risk of false positives or worse, missed signals is very high. It also raises questions about the bystander effect online, where many see concerning posts but assume someone else will report them or dismiss them as just online talk.
It sounds like the internet, which was supposed to connect us, is actually creating deeper divides, whether it's political, cultural, or around fundamental rights. This brings us neatly to the broader impact of social media on politics and, critically, on mental health, not just for the general citizen, but for those deeply engaged in activism, sometimes called woke activists.
The mental health implications are profound. For general citizens, social media often means constant exposure to curated, often idealized lives, leading to comparison, FOMO, anxiety, and depression. Then you add in the relentless negativity of political discourse, the echo chambers reinforcing our biases, and the overwhelming flood of disinformation. It's a recipe for chronic stress and distrust. For those deeply engaged in social justice online, the woke activists, as you call them, it's a different kind of burden. They're often immersed in stories of trauma and injustice, experiencing vicarious trauma. There's the moral injury of constantly fighting uphill battles against systemic issues, leading to outrage fatigue and burnout. The pressure to be perfect online, to never misstep in their own community, can create immense anxiety and self-censorship within activist spaces themselves. It's emotionally exhausting work.
He's absolutely right about the mental health. It's a tough world out there. And you know, a lot of what's on social media, frankly, is fake news. It's designed to upset people, to get them angry, to divide them. The constant arguing, the negativity, it's not good for anyone. People need to be strong, they need to have thick skin, but the platforms themselves, they're not helping. They're making it worse, pushing all this divisive stuff. It's no wonder people are feeling down. We need to be able to talk without all the screaming and the lies.
The algorithms are certainly a major part of the problem, Donald. They're designed to maximize engagement, and unfortunately, outrage and division are highly engaging. We're seeing unprecedented levels of polarization in our societies. Governments have a role here, not in censoring, but in promoting media literacy, supporting mental health services, and encouraging platforms to act more responsibly. We need to foster environments where civil debate can happen, where diverse viewpoints are respectfully considered, and where people feel connected rather than constantly under attack or isolated in their echo chambers. It's a huge challenge, but our collective well-being depends on it.
So it seems clear that social media, while offering incredible power for connection and mobilization, is also a double-edged sword, exacerbating many of the issues we've discussed today. From the nuanced line between free and hate speech to the sometimes brutal realities of cancel culture, to the highly charged debates around gun laws and the psychological toll of constant online engagement, it's a lot to navigate. Jordan, if you had one piece of advice for navigating this digital world, what would it be?
I'd say cultivate critical thinking, engage with nuance, and understand that online interactions are not always representative of offline reality. Most importantly, protect your mental space. Disconnect, seek out real-world connections, and remember that your worth isn't determined by likes or online approval. Be mindful of who you follow and what you consume.
My advice would be to always remember the person behind the screen. Empathy is vital. Before you post, before you react, ask yourself if your words contribute to understanding or merely fuel division. We all have a responsibility to foster a more respectful and constructive digital commons.
My advice is simple. Speak your mind, but also use your common sense. Don't let these platforms or the critics silence you, but also think about what you're saying. And most importantly, always put your country first. We need strong leaders, not people scared of a Twitter mob.
Powerful closing thoughts from all of you. It's clear there are no easy answers, but understanding the complexities is the first step towards better solutions. Thank you, Donald, Keir, and Jordan, for this incredibly insightful and candid discussion. And thank you, our listeners, for joining us on Digital Debates. Until next time, keep thinking critically and engaging thoughtfully.